Hello friends, today's story is from Jaipur, Rajasthan. This incident took place on April 12, 2018. An elderly man arrived at the Gandhinagar police station in Jaipur. He approached the sentry standing at the gate and said, "Brother, I need to file a report." The sentry directed him inside to meet the duty officer. On the officer's chair sat a sub-inspector, accompanied by two other policemen. The elderly man stood quietly for a while, waiting as the officers were busy discussing matters. As time passed, he began to grow anxious and started looking around. Sensing his unease, the sub-inspector asked, "Yes, sir, please tell me what's the matter." The elderly man replied, "My daughter-in-law has been missing for a day." He then adjusted the towel over his shoulder and continued. She was preparing to become a teacher and was staying at a PG hostel in Bapu Nagar. The sub-inspector questioned him. "Your daughter-in-law must have been living with your son. Then why was she staying at a hostel?" The elderly man clarified, "No, sir. My son works as an income tax inspector and his posting is in Vadodara, Gujarat. My daughter-in-law was pursuing her studies in Jaipur, so she stayed here." The officer then inquired, "Is it possible that she left on her own?" The elderly man responded confidently, "No, sir, that's not possible." The duty officer handed him a piece of paper and said, "Please provide a written complaint and we will file a missing persons report." The man's name was Brajendra Singh and he was from Kathumar in the Alwar district. His son, Lokesh Chowdhury, worked as an income tax inspector and was posted in Vadodara. A year and a half ago, Lokesh had married a woman named Munesh, who was from the Sinsini village in Bharatpur. Munesh had come to Jaipur to prepare for her teaching exam and was staying at a PG hostel in Bapu Nagar. However, she had been missing since April 11, 2018. On April 12th, Brajendra Singh filed the complaint and the police registered the missing persons report. Since no suspicion was raised against anyone, the investigation began in a routine manner. A few days later, Lokesh Chowdhury came to Jaipur and met with the police officers. He continuously pressured the police, claiming that his wife had been abducted and that the investigation was not being conducted properly. He even met with the police commissioner and expressed his fear that his wife had been kidnapped. Following this, under the leadership of Police Deputy Commissioner Kunwar Rashtradeep, a team was formed, which included the additional police commissioner, assistant police commissioner, and several officers. This team reviewed the CCTV footage around the PG and also obtained the call details of Munesh, Lokesh, and others. The police also gathered information about Lokesh's friends and their relationship. As the investigation progressed, the police realized that the case was no longer a simple missing persons case, but seemed to be more serious. The investigation became more intense. In the meantime, on April 21st, Munesh's father, Ramkumar Sinsanwar, also filed a report at the Gandhinagar police station, stating that his daughter had been missing since April 11, 2018. He also revealed that when Lokesh came to Jaipur, he asked him to check his phone, but Lokesh had formatted it, deleting all the data. This raised the police's suspicions even more, leading them to shift the investigation towards murder and conspiracy. Ramkumar's report stated that his daughter had been continuously harassed for dowry by Lokesh and his family. He also mentioned that earlier that year, Lokesh had withdrawn 1 lakh from Munesh's fixed deposit, taking all the money. The report further claimed that Lokesh and his family had conspired to abduct and murder Munesh. Based on this complaint, an FIR was filed under various sections of the Indian Penal Code (IPC), including Section 464 forgery, 498A dowry harassment, 302 murder, 304B dowry death, and 120B conspiracy. The investigation was assigned to Assistant Police Commissioner, Trainee IPS Officer Kavencia in Malviya Nagar. On April 21st, the police called Lokesh Chowdhury to the station for questioning. When the police investigated his past records and phone calls, Lokesh could not remain silent for long. He broke down and confessed. Lokesh admitted that, with the help of a friend, he had called his wife Munesh from Jaipur to Vadodara, where he murdered her and buried her body underground. The police arrested Lokesh that very day. His confession shocked the officers, as Lokesh had previously portrayed his wife as missing and had accused the police of negligence. The truth emerged that Munesh had been murdered 10 days earlier. On April 22, 2018, IPS officer Kavencia and the police team, along with Lokesh, traveled to Vadodara. Upon reaching, the police began the process of retrieving Munesh's body. With laborers' help and a JCB machine, it took the help of laborers and a JCB machine. After 3 hours of digging, Munesh's body was retrieved. The body was dressed in very little clothing. Lokesh had poured around 15 kilograms of salt over the body, hoping it would decompose quickly and prevent any foul odor. After this, he filled the pit with soil and sprayed water on it to flatten the surface. Once the body was discovered, the police team took the body back to Jaipur that same night. On the 23rd of April, Munesh's body was sent to the Sawai Mansingh Hospital for post-mortem. In the afternoon, after the post-mortem, the body was handed over to her father. The family then took the body to their village, Sinsani, in the Bharatpur district. Just a year ago, they had sent their daughter off as a bride, but now her lifeless body, wrapped in a white shroud, was returning to the village. The final rites were performed with thousands of villagers in attendance. Following this incident, the police arrested Lokesh's friend, Pravindra Sharma, who had assisted in calling Munesh to Vadodara and then helping Lokesh in the murder. Pravindra also belonged to the same village. Munesh had married Lokesh Chaudhary on February 5, 2017. Initially, their life was going very well. After the marriage, Munesh stayed with her husband in Vadodara for some time and then returned to her in-laws' place. She was educated and had aspirations of becoming a government teacher. One day, she mentioned to Lokesh that there was going to be a recruitment for teachers in Rajasthan and that she wanted to apply. Lokesh had no problem with her desire. In fact, he said that both husband and wife must work in today's world to ensure the family runs smoothly. Lokesh had arranged for Munesh to stay at a PG hostel in Bapu Nagar, Jaipur, at D126 Krishna Marg, where she stayed while pursuing her studies. Meanwhile, Lokesh had been having an affair with another woman. Despite Munesh being well-educated, beautiful, and fashionable, Lokesh was still focused on his mistress. He wanted to marry her, but the legal and social obstacles were significant. Lokesh was a government employee, and if he married again, he could lose his job. This is when he began planning to remove Munesh from his life. Lokesh had seen the movie Drishyam. Like the protagonist in the film, he began planning and had already thought of answers to every potential police question. He knew that the police could track him through mobile location, so he took great care in his actions. To show himself as innocent, he stopped talking to his mistress on the phone so that the affair would not be exposed. He bought a new SIM card using a colleague's ID, which he used only to talk to his mistress. He kept his old numbers for contacting others to avoid raising suspicion. To further cover his tracks, Lokesh bought Munesh a scooter about a month earlier and frequently called her from Vadodara, pretending their relationship was normal. On April 10th, his accomplice, Pravindra, dug a 7-foot deep pit in the garden of the house and told the workers that he was digging it to add fertilizer. The garden was covered with green netting to keep the activities hidden. Lokesh wanted his mobile to stay in Vadodara so that he would appear to be there. After finalizing the murder plan, he sent Pravindra to Jaipur, but kept his own phone with him and gave Pravindra a new one to avoid suspicion. On April 11th, Pravindra reached Jaipur and went directly to Munesh's hostel. He told her that Lokesh had gotten into some trouble and needed to take her to Vadodara. Munesh agreed immediately and went with him. As they left the hostel, Pravindra took her phone under the pretext of needing it and removed the SIM card. From then on, her phone's location showed up in areas like Bapu Nagar, Gandhi Nagar, and Lal Kothi, leading the police to believe she was still in Jaipur. When they reached Vadodara on April 12th, Pravindra took Munesh to his rented house, where Lokesh was already waiting. As soon as Munesh arrived, she came face to face with Lokesh. Right after this, they both together killed Munesha. Then they placed her body in the hole they had already dug, covered it with salt and dirt, and sprinkled water on top, so no one would suspect anything. After the murder, Lokesh called his father, Brajendra Singh, and told him that Munesha was missing and had gone missing. On his son's request, the father immediately filed a missing persons report for Munesha at the Gandhinagar police station. The next day, Lokesh returned from Vadodara to Jaipur and told the police that he suspected Munesha had been kidnapped. He also informed them that he had last spoken to Munesha on the phone on April 11th, when she told him she was going to meet a friend. When the police checked the call details, they found that Lokesh was in Vadodara on April 11th, while Munesha was in Jaipur. This led the police to dismiss him as a suspect. Lokesh succeeded in deceiving the police and kept them confused with a fabricated story of kidnapping. Pravendra Sharma, a friend of Lokesh, was enticed by him and slowly included in the plan to murder Munesha. To mislead the police, Lokesh came up with not one or two, but around 12 different plans to confuse them, which made the Jaipur police initially fall for the false story of Munesha's kidnapping. To crack this complicated case, the police went through a year's worth of phone call records between Lokesh and Munesha, totaling over 15,000 call details. Lokesh had planned the murder well in advance. A month before, he had bought a SIM card under his friend's name to talk to his girlfriend. He told his girlfriend strictly not to call his old numbers, as he believed the police would only check the call details from the past 2 or 3 months. This way, his girlfriend's involvement wouldn't come to light. Lokesh, with his pre-planned conspiracy, bought Munesha a scooter in Jaipur and enrolled her in a PG hostel under the pretext of preparing for a teacher recruitment exam, so her in-laws would keep a close eye on her and continue to see her as a good daughter-in-law. Meanwhile, he called and messaged Munesha daily to make it seem like he cared deeply for her. Lokesh lived in Vadodara, and Pravendra, his close friend, was involved in the plot. Lokesh rented a house in Vadodara and sent Pravendra to Jaipur with a new mobile phone. As soon as Pravendra started his journey from Jaipur to Vadodara with Munesha, he removed her SIM card and threw it away so that her location would appear to be the same. Lokesh also had a missing person report filed by his father about his wife, Munesha. Then he came to Jaipur the next day, went to Gandhinagar police station, and fabricated the story of Munesha's kidnapping to distract the police. During this time, Lokesh made an excuse that his phone was hanging and had it formatted, erasing all crucial data and messages. On the night of April 11th, when Munesha's roommate, Asha, informed Lokesh that Munesha's tiffin had arrived, but she wasn't present and her phone was off, Lokesh sternly instructed Asha to tell the hostel owner and not mention anything else to anyone, as it was his responsibility. Throughout the investigation, while waiting for the truth to come out, Lokesh continued to look for Munesha with her in-laws to avoid suspicion. Although his actions were likely inspired by the movie Drishyam, the painful truth was that he had cunningly orchestrated the murder of his wife. The heartbreaking fact is that Lokesh Chaudhary, a government officer, sank so low in his desire to marry his girlfriend that he ended up murdering his wife. Even after a year of marriage, Munesha couldn't understand her husband's true nature. She trusted him, and that trust cost her her life. She had come into his life swearing to live and die with him, but in the end, it was he who killed her. Finally, the police arrested both the murderers and sent them to jail. Friends, the purpose of narrating this incident is not to upset or disturb anyone, but to make you alert and aware. Our goal is for you to learn from this information and stay cautious. What are your thoughts on this entire event? Please share your comments. Also, let us know where you are watching this video from. If you appreciated our hard work, please like this video and share it with your friends so this information reaches as many people as possible. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe now so you continue to receive essential updates like this in the future.